Hello, Adept family. I'm no longer going to call you YouTubers because you're adepts. You are students. You're following a path. And I'm here in my little IHOP. This is the only place I can get online, and it has 5 bars. So I got to make this quick. I'm making an appeal because I've left John, and I'm living out in the forest, and I need some financial support. So please send me cash to my P.O. Box, P.O. Box 1165, Vinton, Vinton, Virginia 24179. So I look forward to just any little loose, holding money you got. Put in an envelope with a nice little card. It's like back in the day when my birthday. And my Aunt Gracie used to always, religious, to the day she died, she sent me $5. But you can send me more, or whatever you got. But I am very, very, very limited, and it limits my ability to tell you stories, right? And I want to break away from the things I've been talking about and get to stories that you like. So I've got to keep these things under 5 minutes because the Wi-Fi here at IHOPS is pretty bad. It takes forever to load stuff up. So right now it's a minute 40 seconds. So I'm going to start out the new story, the revised version of the Irish Old Crone. So how I got there is a story of a number of teachers in my life. I got into Hofstra University because I was already studying theater. I was already involved in theater. I was already working in the theater. And so through all, I worked for Lester Polikoff, amazing, famous scenic light designer. I worked for Bob Goddard, who's the inventor of modern rock and roll shows. I worked for the Living Theater. I worked at Herbert Berghoff Studios. I was Herbert Berghoff and Uta Hagen. I was part of the Spring Street Dance Theater. So I was already doing all this stuff. And the lady who ran Hofstra theater department was a lady named Marion Tulin, and she was like on every board there was. Anyway, I spent the first semester and a half at Hofstra, okay, and I kind of got, because of social and emotional and things, I wanted to move on. So she got me a gig in Ireland at Trinity University. She needed to send somebody over there to study theater there, and at the Irish State Theater. And I went over there, and I wasn't Irish enough for them, so they sent me to Trinity in Dublin to study Celtic culture. And that's where I met the Old Crone. And I was like a fish out of water, meaning I had been exposed to esoteric manuscripts, and I knew how to look at them. And all you folks want to know what the key is. So whenever you're looking at an old document that probably was written by somebody who, if they were found out what they were writing about, they would get thrown in a hoosegow. So they put things in code. That's what Chaucer did, what Shakespeare did, what Mr. Gravity did. They all had codes, all of the guy who talks about the future, all his stuff was in code. Da Vinci wrote backwards. So you look for keys to the code. And once you do that, things fall in your lap. And so I was in a library looking at an old, ancient Celtic document that was like in a bunch of different languages, not just Gaelic. And because these guys were really scholars, they were schooled in lots of stuff, not just their own home tradition. And that's what the like Trinity, its library is one of the last bastions of the Library of Alexandria. Meaning, when that library went south, they just didn't get burned. Those books got scurried all over the place, right? Hidden away. And that's what the hedgerow is. Hedgerow is the Gaelic school of the bard, of the, everything spiritual, druidic. And they were on the side of the hedgerow. So when the Romans came on the other side, they would hear them and run away because it was hard to get through the hedgerow. And so that's the hedgerow school. And that's the first. I'm going to have to give you this story in parts, right? So this is just the first part. So remember, I need cash. Send it to P.O. Box 1165, Vinton, Virginia 24179. That's Owl D at P.O. Box 1165, Vinton, Virginia 24179. Okay. I mean, that's my box that I've paid up, so it's going to be safe in there. So just, throw some holding cash in an envelope with a nice little note around it, and that would help me out a great deal. That's P.O. Box 1165, Vinton, Virginia 24179. Thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.